You know, we need to discipline our use of digital media. We treat it as the servant, we don't let it become the master. Because, you know, you can't really have 5,000 friends on Facebook. You have 5,000 contacts. But a friend is not a Facebook friend, it's two different things. So we need to realise the limitations of social media and use their strengths. So that's an important question. I think one of the ways that people do build communication when they're spread out is by having those times when they are together as digital free times. So when we come together for our weekly creative meeting in the marketing department, we don't have any digital, no tablets, no PDAs. We use them outside, yeah, but for this 1 hour, we're just going to talk to each other. We might make some notes in a notebook for a change. What I'm saying is we train each other again to talk to each other, to look at each other like I'm looking at you now and talk instead of absent presence. We're all in the room, but we're not there because we're talking into cyberspace. I think, you know, there's a difference between cyber tribe and real tribe. We're moving into the age of avatarism. You know, Siri on Apple phone is an avatar. It's a personality that represents you on the phone. And we are forming avatars now in all of our online transactions. It's moving towards the day, not too far away, when you will have one avatar that represents you through all of your online experience. There will be companies that are set up just to design avatars for every individual. You can buy an avatar off the shelf. This is the personality, the little image might be a three-dimensional hologram that represents me online in everything I do. And when that starts to happen, then we need to remember it's not just about cyber tribe, it's about real tribe. It's about this. Two human beings reading each other's faces, reading the subtle signals, reading the biometrics, we call it now. That's what communication is about. So, short answer, when we do gather together, we put aside the digital and we have real face-to-face communication for a while. That helps to maintain a sense of togetherness and cut down the isolation. I think that in very practical terms, a leader can remember that the medium is the message. Marshall McLuhan, the media guru of the 60s, said in the age of television, the medium is the message. In other words, the tools that we choose to communicate our ideas say as much as the words themselves. So if I use technology that's out of date, people start thinking maybe my ideas are out of date. Maybe my products are out of date. Maybe my services are out of date. So the medium that I use has to reflect what I'm trying to get across. I might have the right words, but if the medium's wrong, the message is wrong. So leaders need to choose their words carefully because words are a form of medium. We need to think about what we're going to say to our teams. Don't just get up and talk to them. Give it some thought. Think about it in advance. I don't go onto the BBC and just talk off the top of my head. I've got things, bullet points in my head that are carefully worded that I present. And leaders need to do the same thing in their staff meetings, in their team times. I think leaders need to speak with passion. And it's easy to forget that passion is so important. If you stand up in front of your team, oftentimes your feelings of conviction are the #1 thing they remember. They'll forget the words, but they remember your feelings. They remember your convictions. And I talk about the 80-20 rule. Some people call it the Pareto principle. You know, 80% of retail is 20% of customers. 80% of charity work is done by 20% of the volunteers. And that 80-20 ratio is true for us as individuals. Usually, 20% things will give 80% results. Any leader, if they sit down and think about it, what are the things that I spend very little time doing, but they bring big results? The things I'm just naturally good at that bring the 80% result. If I spend more time on that 20% and doing that well and feed the other stuff out to other people, my passion grows, my productivity grows, my 80% gets bigger, and that means that I have more feeling for what I'm doing, more positive feeling, and that carries over into the team. So passion is, and building our passion is very important in communication, and choosing the words, because they are a medium.